Just thinking about it. All right, we live now. Hey, it's RJ and Brian Sewell with Guild Mortgage. We are happy to be back with you on the RJ and Sewell podcast. What's going on, RJ?
Man, things are good, brother. This weather's looking kind of rough tonight, but it's all good.
Well, we ain't going to stay the whole time, y'all. We normally go 30 minutes, but it's a little crazy out in my office. But wanted to reach out because some things I promised to get to that I want to share. And, you know, anytime I get to hang out with my buddy RJ, it's always good. I got this mess on my desk, so please forgive me. I'm moving stuff around.
Yeah, we can't even see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Don't lie to me, RJ.
Maybe it's just me. I can't see it.
Okay, good that I don't have to move it. But no. So, you know, my philosophy is let's educate. We're going to educate, empower you, and encourage you, right? So the education, I believe, gives you encouragement, right? And then encouragement gives you empowerment to make good decisions. Mm-hmm. RJ, I'm glad we got this podcast going. Tell your friends you want to know how to buy homes, understand insurance, understand mortgage, understand real estate, understand grants. This is a big grant for $70,000 out there that's probably going to be gone any day now because we got supposedly 4,000 people applied for it. But it tells you where you cannot move, and it's kind of goofy like that. But that being said, we're going to give you some stuff that you don't have to worry about if you're going to have it. I'm talking a little fast. RJ, let me give you something that bothers me a little bit, and I'll get to the serious stuff. Doesn't it bother you that, you know, and I'm pretty sure American Family does this too. I'm picking on you, but you're like, hey, if you send me this coupon, fill this out, then you'll give me my $50 coupon. Like, listen, just give me the doggone coupon. Because you're going to forget to fill it out, right? All these stipulations that make you jump through the hoops and, you know, this ain't God. Let me run around the building 7 times. So that's type of deal.
Oh man,
crack me up, man, with that stuff.
Yeah.
But how you feeling, man?
I feel great, man. I feel great. You know, it's been a good, busy, but good 2 weeks. And you know, I need a little rest, but things are going well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell me about some of the things going on in the real estate market.
In real estate?
Well, in your insurance part of real estate.
In the insurance part, yeah. So, you know, so one of the things is, you know, we look at the price of insurance is going up. And we've talked about this a few times, but it always helps to reiterate. The cost of insurance is going up because the cost of parts to build or to repair, those prices are going up and they're staying up. The cost of labor in those areas is also going up. It doesn't matter if it's a building or if it's an auto. Those prices go up. Insurance has to reflect that because we have to pay the cost for those repairs. And we want to make sure that we're in position to do that. If we were to keep things the same, eventually we'd go out of business and everybody would be self-insured. That would be a really bad proposition. So
what are some of the things they can do to like save money on their insurance?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every insurance company has some discount options available to its customers. The customers have to be engaged with the insurance agent. They have to allow the agent to take time to offer those opportunities for discounts and to explain things to them. Don't be in a rush. We like to say that we want to spend time with you once a year, at least at American Family we do. We want to do an insurance review once a year, and the other 364 days, we'll worry about the insurance and let you forget about it, okay, until you need it.
Do they save money on bundling, RJ?
Absolutely. The more policies you put together, so you put your auto, your home, your umbrella policy, very important, and the most important, your life insurance, put it all together, you're going to get more discounts, more savings so you'll get more protection, a more comprehensive insurance plan for your money.
Okay. So I want to talk. We're going to come back to insurance. We got, like I said, a little warning outside. So there's a couple things I want to hit. I definitely want to talk, and I appreciate you for sharing this. Look, if you need insurance, you got insurance questions, call my boy RJ, get with him. We're going to come back to that in a second. One of the things we like to try to see what's mindful, what's going on. And this is the thing that came up, right? So it talked about the 3 biggest issues in the mortgage and real estate industry, right? It said that mortgage rates are holding in the mid 6s, right? But what people are dealing with is they're worried about affordability, right? So, here's the thing, right? If this is what they're seeing, here it is right here. Rates are still holding around 6.625, but you don't have to live with a high payment. You can use a 1-year buy down. That's one of the solutions they gave, but that's one of the issues that is saying that they're having right now is the affordability, the affordability. And I would say use a 1-year buy down to handle that. What are you seeing as far as you've been in this a lot? So in RJ, not to pick on your age, but you've been buying a home for about 80 years. Like the rates, the rates have not been. I'm sorry, he's not that old, y'all. I like to tease him a little bit. I got to make sure he's listening. Sometimes I know if he's listening to me.
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
So,
I got to always be on my toes with you.
Yeah, no, but I mean, rates considering if we're talking mid-6s, I mean, that's not terrible.
You know what, B? I used to underwrite mortgages many years ago. I think I shared that. Well, you know that about me.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are listening and that didn't know that, I was a mortgage underwriter for a few years. And this was back in the early 90s. So that kind of tells on my age a little bit. But I just turned 60. When I was underwriting mortgages then, if you saw 6%, 6.5%, 7%, that was a really good mortgage rate. We've seen much higher. We've seen as high as 8%, 8.5%. So these, I think we got spoiled by the interest rates that we had seen where they were just astronomically low. I mean, you were almost giving the properties away or the mortgage away. And now that, the rates are normalizing, I think people are thinking, I'll just wait till it goes back down to 2.5%. Okay, well, you're going to be waiting a really long time if that's what you're waiting for. And the great thing is, look, get the property. Go get the property that you want. You can always refinance later if the rates get better for you. Okay, or you can sell the property that you have and buy a newer, shinier, bigger one. Once you have the property, it gives you a position of power.
So going back to these things, and I love what you said. So there are some things we've heard: marry the house and date the rate, right? Goofy stuff. Right? But if we go back to what you just said, RJ. So back in your day, it was like 9%, 10%, whatever. I'm joking, but but at the end of the day, like we have the ability as a lender to do a 1-year buy down and make that payment more affordable on us. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. So sometimes you got to ask the question: is it down payment the biggest issue, or is it monthly cash flow? Right? Most economists think rates are going to come down. We can't guarantee that. If RJ and I knew that for sure, we wouldn't be sitting right here, right? But we think long term that the rates are going to come down. And I think it's a good idea. I'd love to be there to go over those things with you. And I'll talk about our promises, which I'll give them to you really quick. Close on time, no surprises at closing. Treat you like family, the family you like. We're going to communicate with you weekly. When you're working with us, you're going to get full transparency, right? Same thing with RJ. That's the cool thing. I was just talking to my team about this as we were revamping, looking at our 5 and 10-year vision. I thought about when I first got into business, it was just like, man, I had a piece of paper, wrote on it, hey, we won't lie to you. It's so boring saying that, but that's how we did business, and we just really did it with an old school gentleman handshake. And I know RJ, you the same way.
Yeah, you know what, B? I really appreciate that about you. I tell everybody, when I introduce you all the time, I'm like, this is Brian Sewell. This is my mortgage guy, and I follow that with nobody touches my mortgage except for Brian. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But I say that and I mean it because I know how you do business, and that's what drew me to you. It's your character, it's the way you do business, and the we won't lie to you thing. It sounds boring, but it goes a long way. Just imagine if everybody did business that way. How much?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like we all look. Let's just say the obvious. We're in business. We want to make money. A company. American family has to be profitable. Guild Mortgage, we have to be profitable. But that shouldn't drive the number one thing. We make money out doing volume. So you do business with us, we're top 5 in the nation and number 1 rated by JD Power and Trust. Now, I want to kind of get to a couple of things because I want to, for sake of time. So the second issue, so the first one was rates, right? The second issue that they said is slow improving inventory and a more balanced market. So people are nervous about that, right? They said active listings are up year over year, nationwide around 1.23 million plus 4% in recent months. Giving buyers more choices and some negotiating power, we're still below pre-pandemic levels overall. but the selling market instantly has cooled in many areas with more prices being reduced. We've seen that with sellers willing to help. So like the solution with the 1-year buy down, and I want to hit on this really quick. I'm trying not to talk too fast. I get excited about this, but like as a lender, we give you the 1-year buy down. But a solution right now, if I was buying right now, if you got a seller that maybe there's not multiple offers, instead of lowering that price, you lower your price by $10,000, right? You say, man, I got 10,000 off the price. Well, the average appreciation is about 4 or 5% anyway, so you get that back within a year or two. But if you lower that, and yet you got to bring 10,000 more to close, you're paying a higher. How's that a benefit to you? Whereas you can use that $10,000 to do a 2-1 buy down or 3-2-1 buy, depending on how big of a house you're buying, and helps offset the payment. So I'll talk more in details about this with you guys. You want to ask me about, but it's just strategies we can put together to help you make the payment more affordable. There is more inventory, but sellers are willing to help, man. When I look at price reductions, it's there, but I think if you think about it long term, unless you're getting 50,000 off on a house, it's more advantageous for you to get the sellers to help you on the payment, on the rate, than it is necessary on I got $5,000 off on your mortgage on your house.
Yeah.
Right. I hope that makes sense. I know people don't like doing math. RJ, I read a book. We were at Grounded Coffee today. They got me doing readings. I think I'm gonna do them monthly. And kids were like 3, 5, 2. I read ice cream book today. And it's something I learned. Here's something I learned I didn't know. Did you know ice cream was invented in China 2,000 years ago?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. We read the book, so this was interesting. Kids' attention span, but I'm bringing that up because, by the way, we need to go down to Chinatown and try some of that Chinese ice cream, knowing that they invented it. My wife makes good ice cream.
I was gonna say I don't need to taste anybody else's ice cream.
I know.
I like that. I like that real stuff.
But I got to throw some food in our calls anyway. But
yeah,
that being said, you got opportunities to buy a home. There's inventory. The third thing, RJ, that they talked about, and this is what people are dealing with, is the affordability challenges. They feel like, man, people got, that 2-3% interest rate a couple of years ago, and people are not selling their houses, and the price of houses is going up, and that's all true. But use the first strategy we talked about to help offset that. So I think that one strategy we talked about with buy downs, deal with that. So that's your market update. There you go. I did that in like 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
RJ.
Yes, sir.
So how'd you like the golf outing we did? And then I'll get to my one little issue I want to talk about.
Yeah, you know what? It was a lot of fun. I hit like garbage, but I expected that. I had the one hole where we used my approach shot and we used my putt, which was good. And everything else the rest of the day was horrible. But, it's all good. Golf is I had an instructor years ago, and he told me golf is a jealous game. If you don't spend time with it, it'll make you suffer. And it does indeed that. But it was a good day.
So, I had a ball, man. At the end of the day, I just posted that strategy, so we'll have it. But if the end of the day, when we look at, we got to hang out with a lot of people. We gave back. The charities was good. I think my favorite part was the heckler. That was hilarious. I've never been on a golf course where you got heckled. We heckle each other all the time.
Yeah,
that was hilarious, man. The fact that while we were getting ready to golf, I still don't remember what he said about me. He just made me laugh, man. I was like, man, yeah. I remember what he said about you.
I do too.
And I remember what he said about Zoe.
I
can't remember. Do you know what he said about me?
No, I can't remember what he said about you.
It was funny though, because I was like, man, he got this serious look on or something like that.
He was actually really funny.
Yeah,
I've never experienced that before, but golf is a game of etiquette and rules, right? And typically, when somebody is getting ready to swing, you can hear a pin drop. And this guy didn't care about the etiquette. He kept right on with the jokes. It was actually kind of refreshing.
But I think I hit one of my best balls when he got me though.
You did. The competitive juices started going.
Oh man, that was good, man. I enjoyed it. We got to help people.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to share one quick thing, and then we can just have some more fun. I want to talk some other stuff too. But something happened to me. RJ, we didn't get a chance to talk about it. This happened to me last Monday. And I don't even know. I don't think we talked about it. I prayed about it. So in my 24-year career, man, I've never had this happen. We had a last Friday, I was going out of town with Gilbert to the Heart of a Man conference. Amazing. And then we got a call all of a sudden that this client wanted to do they wanted to do a repair credit, which they were already maxed out on their credits and all those things, and they were doing conventional and got a huge tax credit. Anyway, attorney was like, no, we can't do that. It's pretty rude. That's very rude. Whatever. So we went to the closing on Monday. Did I tell you about this already, RJ?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we went to closing on Monday because I'm always going to honor that. And if I know I'm really unhappy, I'm leaving $7,000 on the table. And I just was like, well, you're maxed out on credits. And this is what the attorney said. Well, you don't have to do anything illegal, but do something unethical. He was rude. And I'm like, just do it ethically. I said, okay, so break the law, but don't break the law. Anyway, so the attorney was really kind of nasty. And I just said, let me check with my closer one more time. So I called her and they said, hey, come to find out. And I knew this, but again, we're rushing everything at the last minute, that because she's putting down 10%, we technically take that extra credit and buy down the rate, which we use buy downs all the time. She's talking about that. So I was like, we can do this, but you got to delay closing. They didn't want to do that. And he got mad. Like, why you didn't tell us this on Friday at the last minute when you're trying to do a repair credit, which is not allowed. You can't do repair credit and you can't raise tax credit to offset things, guys. That's illegal. That was a couple other suggestions. Anyway, the guy got in my face this close. I haven't had nothing happen like that since I was in high school. And literally, RJ, I'm in Oak Lawn. I got upset. My hand balled up, but I said, I'm going to walk away. I left out of the closing, and I've never had that happen. And part of me was upset because I didn't get angry and go at it. But part of me is upset because, I let somebody disrespect. But then I was like, man, I did the right thing because I could throw it all away in 1 second. Right. You got things to lose. And so I'm always going to take care of people. Everyone shares their glory stories. But and the client was just, wrote us a bad review, which again, we closed on time, came in about $5,000 less than we originally told her, but this extra credit that we knew nothing about. But it was just, and the attorney was extremely nasty, just like bad experience overall, which again, we could talk about that. If you want to go political, which we're not, there's a lot of things that's going on. I think people are just disrespectful, say and do whatever they want to do. All of that being said, it was very interesting, and it set me back a little bit because it brought back a lot of like little bad memories on different things. And RJ, you know me well enough, but overall, I'm glad I didn't fight it. But it was really uncomfortable. And as I was talking about leading up this morning about our show, I think it's Cindy Earthman. She was our head coach. She owns Mortgage Masterminds Elite. One of the things she taught me from a Jack Canfield book, right, is said that E plus R equals O. It's events plus response equals outcome. Yep. I cannot control the events of someone else or what's going on, but I can control my response, which actually delivers me a better outcome. So many times of that. So I just want to share that because we all deal with things. We had a really good golf outing on Wednesday that happened to me on Monday. But dude, I got to tell you, I was really torn because one, I want to take care of my clients and all that stuff, but it was just a really big character issue. And I don't know if you experienced anything like that, disrespect like that. I'm sure you have in your career. But
yeah, nothing face to face like that. And that's much more difficult to handle. I've handled things over the phone. And I've been very professional in all those situations. But face to face is different, and especially when somebody steps up on your nose like that. That's a threat. And honestly, man, I'm proud of the way you responded. Our bishop talks about reacting versus responding. The basic message was when we react, we put ourselves in a bad situation. When we response is much more thoughtful, it's much more calculated, and you've taken into consideration the outcomes, right? So you chose to respond rather than react, which was the good thing, because you're right. You have a lot to lose. You have a beautiful family. You have a great business. You built a great life for yourselves, and that could all go away. It could damage your reputation because, there's two sides to every story. And the way our nation is right now, there's no middle ground. You're either in one camp or you're in the other. And they're on polar opposite ends of each spectrum, it seems. So I'm really glad that you handled it the way you did. You let God fight that battle rather than you fighting it. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. No, I didn't. One of my favorite people in the Bible was David. I was like, smote him. But no, it did because it made me think about like, man, you're that close. But I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, you move on and you just you say, hey, all right. In 24 years, I've never walked out of closing like that. Never, like, you know, finally. But you learn. But we're here. We're to talk about it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I knew that we responded to the review. We're like, look, we dealt with it. The lady still calls and asks questions. And I'm like, look, you obviously know we took care of you. But that just said, you know, and I'll move on from there. I mean, guys, so I'm just encouraging you guys just to, you know, walk in faith and, like you said, let God fight your battle. I can tell you something else that I was taken back a little bit, man. Stacey King passing away, man. What the heck? Dude.
Yeah, man. You know, I've seen Stacey King in person a couple of times. When we used to go to Lifetime Fitness, I saw him in there a couple of times, and he moved so slowly. You know, he had gotten very big and like out of shape in his post-professional career. And, you know, I know over the years, there's been a lot of talk about body shaming and so forth. And my daughter and I have had this conversation. For me, it's not about how you look. It is about your health. You know, when we're overweight, and these are just facts. When you're overweight, it produces a lot of other health issues that come along. There's a lot of baggage that comes with it, and it attacks your overall health. I'm really sorry to see that brother go. Man, he was a decent basketball player in the NBA. He was an excellent commentator. Excellent commentator. He made the games a lot more interesting. I loved his catchphrases and nicknames. Man, really sad to see him go. And man, you know, I hope his family is able to find peace and comfort, you know, in God. But wow, that was a shock.
Yeah, I heard he failed. I mean, I don't got the details. That's what I heard yesterday. But man, like I said, I met him a couple of times. You know, just real down to earth guy, good dude.
Yeah.
Funny, man. That dude is hilarious. He'd make you laugh. The Bulls be getting their tails whooped.
Yeah,
to have you laughing more. So no, it's just, you know, you think about, you feel like you grow up with some of these people, right? You know, and I think about, you know, he's winning championships back when I was in high school. You know, RJ, you probably was, you know, writing insurance when he was winning championships, but
I was doing claims, that's for sure.
All right, that's the last one I'll give today. So
today.
But no, you know, look, I would have loved to see him be able to call with the Bulls to get ready. I think they're going to do some of the things that the Bears did with Ben Johnson. So we'll see how that goes. But no, I just, at the end of the day, guys, we're just two guys that we got our podcast. We just having a talk with you. We talked about real estate. We talked about insurance. We talked about mortgages. We talked about mental health and how to deal with things. Talked a little bit about sports. I always say, and we honor God, man. Keep God first and foremost. And I truly believe that he'll answer your prayers.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add? Because I'm cutting it short today, man. With this rain, I got to take care of a couple things. I'm like,
yeah, man. You should get out of there and get home to your family, man. Make sure everything is good there. It's always good hanging out with you, whether it's in person or virtually. So
you coming out tomorrow? Did I tell you about the Builder Open, McCatchy?
Nope, didn't tell me about it.
Oh, my bad. You don't dance.
No, but I actually have appointments
tomorrow.
5 o'clock.
I don't know if she'll let you out that late.
I have to ask her and see.
Are you tomorrow's Wednesday, Thursday? What's
Thursday?
Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Well, I'll send you the information anyway. That's my bad. I thought we talked about it on the golf course, but yeah, he's doing a grand opening.
Okay, cool. Let me know.
Yep, I'll send it to you in a sec.
All right, good stuff.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, everybody! Before we check out, call Brian for your mortgage. Call me for your insurance. You will not be disappointed. You're going to get educated, and you'll be well taken care of. Have a great day.
We're going to love on you. Take care, y'all.
Dude.